Hey, it's Jay, and welcome back to Tears of the Kingdom. And today, we're going to go through our hero's journey, a nice trip down memory lane of what all we've done in the game. Now, I will say, going into this, I don't know if this is going to be as good as my going back to the hero's journey in Breath of the Wild, because since this game was so much longer than Breath of the Wild and taking me so much longer to complete it, I actually don't remember a lot of the adventures I've had in Tears of the Kingdom as well as my Breath of the Wild ones. Before starting the stream, I did go back through and I read like all the descriptions of my old streams, and I went through my note log of some of the iconic moments that were in my Google Docs, and so hopefully I'll remember a little bit of what happens in the game. Maybe just like a tad of it. One thing that's a little bit annoying though that I did test when you do automatically play. The hero's journey does not change your level automatically. You have to actually hit the arrows to change which map you're looking at yourself. So it's going to be a little bit more annoying to follow, especially when we get to some of the super grindy and warpy bits. But here we go. So we wake up, Shrine of Awakening. Futzing around there for a while. I can't remember what I was doing. Go through the Temple of Time. You eventually get out and you dive off into the lake, which the lake looks a lot further away than it actually is. Kind of slowly work our way through the Great Sky Island. I think that was me like fighting the first construct and meeting the one with the purr pad. Like a little bit. I'm going to rewind a little bit. Because I think it was... Not there. Here was me fighting my first construct, my first soldier construct, and then here was getting the purr pad. Went down and explored the Great Sky Island, kind of worming our way towards the Temple of Time. I actually took a bit of a wacky route there. I wonder what I was exploring. I can't remember. But eventually you got up on the staircase, got in the Temple of Time, and Raru was all like, oh yeah, I went around the entire perimeter to see if there was like something in the back or like a Korok or something. I did. But then Raru tries to go to the shrines, so you go up here, climb at the shrine, and here you get Ultra Hand. You unlock the ability to attach items together. And so that was pretty cool. Headed off, worked our way around. I seem to remember either something with this cliff face or this river being difficult to cross, and I can't remember exactly what it was. But I do a lot of whooping around there. I think this was our first Korok. That was our I need to reach my friend Korok. Got past him. I think is that when you get the battery, I think, to charge this river? Is that the point where they give you the battery? I think it is. Actually, wait, no. I think that floating island that I circled around in the back might have been it. Or maybe we haven't hit it yet. I don't know. Still across here. I think I lost the shrine for a while, maybe. And I think Ascension, was that the one that gave you Ascension? I think it was. Or was it Fuse? I think it was Fuse you got from that one. I did a little bit of caving there for a minute. Can't remember what I was fighting over there. No, this is where you get the battery. Yeah, this is the place. Because I remember like using like the floating platforms to try and get up here over that little like gap in the terrain. This is me finding my first like actual Korok. I think, was this entering the mine and exploring the whole mine? I think it was. That was me briefly encountering... Yep, there. There was me meeting the first Gumball machine and not knowing what to do with it. And then there was me encountering my first Flux Construct 1 and absolutely getting my ass handed to me. First death of the run. Yeah, and I kind of explored over here. Oh, yeah, there was that weird, like, rail with, like, a hole in it. But I don't think we went up then. Okay. Here's us entering the cold area and running, like, straight past the place where you could potentially get the warm greaves. But eventually I managed to work my way up to the top through the cave system. And we got Ascension, I think it was there. Died there. I'm not entirely sure how. I died a lot. I remember dying to those guys. There was, like, a couple of, like, soldier and captain constructs there that caused a lot of trouble. Oh, yeah, and I went back to try and do the rail thing, and I struggled with it for a while. Then I worked my way back the same way we came, even though I probably could have been faster to just go through the rest of the snowy mountains. But worked back the way that I came, going back the same path until I got to the Temple of Time. And there we met Zelda, or we got our secret stone from Zelda, which gave us the rewind ability. Head back to the temple and use it to get up to the top. In order to activate the rewind shrine. then just oh yeah, and then we used a wing and a little bit of paraglider and ascension to get back to the Temple of Time. We actually opened the door. And then we went and we gave our magic sword back in time, and then dived down into the pool, which I didn't realize was the bottomless pond. And working our way back to Lookout Landing, there was a bit. I think it was here, yeah, where I saw my first boss bokoblin, and I was freaking out of like, oh shit, there's a monster there. There's a big looking monster there, and I had to sneak around. Eventually, I got to Lookout Landing. Talked to a few of the people in Lookout Landing, and they kept saying that like, oh, you had to go check out Pura. Robbie and the assistant, I think, was talking to you mainly there. Working my whole way around. I don't think. When do I go to the? Yeah, I think there was me entering the emergency shelter and first talking to the people down there. I think that's what that was. We went to the battery guy and talked to them a bit. I don't remember why I went over here in Castletown. I don't know what I saw over there. I'm pretty sure there was an Addison puzzle there, but I definitely didn't do it then. Then there was a little tutorial combat shrine. I can't remember exactly what it taught you to do, but there was something there. Climbed up in the castle. Reached the first gatehouse. To talk to the people up there. I think Pura was up there. You got the brief cutscene of Phantom Ganon disguised as Zelda. And then I think that, yeah, I'm not sure exactly when it is, but this is when I was doing that experimenting trying to build a car and only drove a little bit downhill. Yeah, that all of this running back and forth was me trying to build my first car, and then this was its first drive, and that's like as far as it got. Then I'd back to Lookout Landing, talked to Pura, got the paraglider, and activated. Oh. Do you see that really brief flash there? That really brief flash. I think that was me, yeah, launching out of the lookout tower and then landing back at Lookout Landing. Then we headed south to the first chasm. Talked to the people a minute, and then talked to the people around it, and then we dove in. And I did my quick dive. The first time I went into a chasm, I did the rushy down dive, the sky dive thing where you hold down the trigger. And so we went down it really quick, and that killed the mood a little bit. I regret doing that. I wish I had just let it all play out normally and just land normally. But we got that. I got our first light route. Followed the statues. At least I think we followed the statues a bit. I think that was a monster camp, ? Maybe? Then eventually we got here, and we met Robbie, and he gave us the camera rune, and then we just went back to Lookout Landing. And I think Pura told us where to go next, ? Maybe. Damn, I just turned my nose a bit there. I've been having nasty nosebleeds all the day, and I don't know what that's about. But it does sting a bit. But yeah, we did we? I was waiting there for a while. What was I doing there for so long? Hold on. We went back down and we did the shrine. Got to this shrine. I don't know if I forgot to activate it or something. I stood on there for a long time. Whatever that was about. But then we set off. Started crossing the fields. I think that there was some kind of monster camp we fought there for a little bit. Or maybe that was our first Addison. That might have been our first Addison sign. I thought it was further south than this. But that might have been our first Addison sign. No, this was our first Addison sign. Up on that little hill. Kept going south. Oh, because I wanted to check the Great Plateau. That was it, yeah. And we chickened out. We briefly saw it there for a second. We briefly saw the Skyview Tower that was inside this monster camp, and then I ultimately chickened out. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not getting it up there. But then I saw the shrine, and I went for the shrine instead. Oh, does it stay paused the entire time that you're in a shrine? Is that what happens? Because I wasn't there for very long on the previous shrines. I thought that those were not included in the hero's journey, but maybe they are. Died for something there. Don't know what. And then this is me trying to figure out how to get in the camp, and then I died to the moblin out front. I think I died to him twice. Can't remember what I was exploring there. Then we talked to Pura, interested to go to Rito Village, and so I set off and started exploring there. Went to that fur cave. I think that this is where I first met Horiblins. I first saw them in this cave, I'm pretty sure. And so this has always been iconic to me as the first cave of Tears of the Kingdom, even though it's probably not. It doesn't have to be the first. Because there's one here that I don't think I passed through. I think I went over it, but maybe I did go through it. I don't know, because the hero's journey looks like it's going through there, but I don't remember going to that cave so early on. But yeah, I explored my first proper cave, fought some Horiblins. I think I got attacked by Evermeans here, maybe. I don't remember if I encountered Hetsu here or not. I don't know if that's where you met Hetsu, but I think it was, because I'm pretty sure I encountered Evermeans. Saw that Hinox on the bridge and just decided to glide over the bridge. And then since I was so desperate to get to the stable, I just skipped by this cave right here. Which I do regret doing a little bit because I missed out on it for a while. Can't remember what I looped up for there. Must have seen something up there to loop all the way up there. But when because the reaching the mines, activated the shrine. Some warping apparently? Question mark? It's weird that the shrine time seems to be included. I don't know why that is. Because I don't think it was in Breath of the Wild. Oh, it was paused. Oh, it was paused the entire time there. Okay, yeah, and this was us visiting, or hold on. This is visiting our stables and reuniting with our horses, getting Blue back, which was super freaking cool that they gave you your horses from the original game. I headed out here and we talked to Impa here. I don't remember if we did it right away or not. But we got that geoglyph pretty early on, so we must have done it there. Yeah, we must have. I completely forgot that I went straight up the cliff, though. I don't remember doing that, finding something and going up. Didn't activate that shrine, though, because that was in the cave. It didn't go in the cave yet. But we activated the Skyview Tower. We glid around a bit. Saw this guy and hit it down here. This is where that one race minigame was in the original game, but I don't think that we played it here. Yeah, I don't know why shrine time is included. That feels a little bit silly. But I went down to Thunder Plateau to investigate. I noticed something was weird there, but I couldn't figure it out, so I left. Oh, we actually did fight that Hinox then. Okay. I couldn't remember how early on we decided to take on that Hinox. But then we worked back to the shrine. Climbed Mount Roham. I was like investigating that like pool of fish that had a lot of good fish in the original, but there was nothing there. Go down here. Talk to the stable. And then we worked back. Okay. Oh, maybe this is where I reunited with Blue then. I don't know. But no matter what, we talked to the guy with the goats, I think, maybe, but he wasn't like we hadn't activated Pen yet, so he didn't have his quest yet. Crossed the bridge with a bit of difficulty because of how like holy it was. And then over here there was that like mini game where you had to like throw like the rocks at like the target for like the Rito and the Goron. I climbed up those pillars to see if that flame blade or lightning blade or whatever from the original was still there, and it wasn't. Climbed up there to see the Great Fairy was still there, and she wasn't. Climbed near a hill, and oh yeah, and there was this like there was like a construct guarding like a chamber with like something in a chest that we died a few times to, and there was a Korok on top that we glowed across. We got the wing and we glowed across the Korok, but I put him on funny, and so it was off balance, and so we fell off about like right here, and so then I just walked the Korok the rest of the way up the mountain, and then continued on my way with my horse. Oh, we took off that little Boko camp where that Lizzle camp used to be. Did we have Help At Us in there? I'm not sure if we did. We must have. I don't remember going through here that quickly because I remember stopping to fight these Lizzles a bit. And we definitely missed that shrine at that point. We managed to make it to the Lucky Clover Gazette. We got the Pinecone tip to glide up to Rito Village. Explore Rito Village a bit, talk to everybody. Died in that shrine, apparently. Don't remember to what. And then we set off towards the Trailhead Lodge, which I think, yeah, I must have read the note then back then, because I remember finding that note later in my playthrough, and I was like, did I miss this so early on? But no, I think we did end up reading that. Climbed up, activated the Skyview Tower. Actually, I forgot about doing that. And used that to glide over to that shrine. Kind of convenient. Then we entered the caves where you met Tulin. I don't think this is the one where you actually met Tulin. I think this was just a bit of a passage higher up. And like they were like, hey, Tulin went this way, then he went up that way, and then there was like another cave or something you had to go through. Because it's not on this peak. Yeah, I think we went off to have to help the Edison guy there. Yeah, here's where you met Tulin, and he helped him kill the Aracuda. And then I used him to go to Selmy Spot, actually. Talked to them a little bit. She hadn't like disappeared yet for the side quest yet. Did I find the cave? I think I did. Yeah. I found the cave, and I'm exploring it now. Yeah, because there was the big round thing on the ground. Yeah, and some of the monsters killed me. Explored that cave and eventually got the shrine. Oh, did it lead back out the cave entrance? I didn't remember doing that. Glow down to get that Skyview Tower. Oh, here's where, at least I'm pretty sure, here's where I first spotted a Frostgleok, and I was like freaking out about what the hell is that? That looks spooky, scary skeletons. Got past the prosecutor lock to get to the Snowfield Lounge. Yeah, shrine times are included, which is weird. But yeah, I talked to people in the Snowfield Lodge. And then I was heading back down. I completely missed that monster camp, but I was heading down to check out the real ruins in the geoglyph here. Uh, and I couldn't really figure anything out. And eventually, I caved in and decided to yeah, I'll look at the map to figure out the order to do them. Or I don't even know there was the map for the order yet. I just saw this and I looked around a little bit and then I gave up. But I think I was kind of looking for where the snowball mini game was. And I saw this whole river thing. I was like, oh, I remember using the logs to get under the hut in the ice cold water. And I think was that where the core puzzle was? They ended up the cliff. I think it was. Yeah, and then there you had to go down the river again, and it was I did a little bit rougher this time than I did in the first game, trying to get under that area. But then I continued on the path a little before realizing yeah, I'm a bit off course. Let's work back and let's continue the Rito quest line. So I climbed up Pepper Peak and used Ascension and Tulin's gliding powers to get up to the Rising Island chain. And I did this over a period of a couple of days, which I'm kicking myself over because it kind of ruined the experience a bit. Not ruined. I still really loved it, but I feel like I probably would have remembered to dive through Colgera if I hadn't done it over the course of a couple of days. But yeah, we started using all the boats and shit to climb on the Rising Island chain, killing Aracudas all on the way. I think there was it, or was it up ahead? I think it's up ahead. Because I'm pretty sure it's here. And this was my first Flux Construct kill. And I was super proud that I managed to kill a mini-boss so early in the game compared to what I did in Breath of the Wild, because it took me forever to kill anything there. That place is pretty heavily guarded by Aracudas, that one. Some kind of intense fight there. Can't exactly remember what it was. Or maybe I was just lost for a bit. I might have been lost for a bit. Yeah, I got the last shrine. I think that's another place where I took a break. And then, oh yeah, I remember this. In between sessions, since it's I got a warp and I'm not going to have time to do the rest of the temple, I just decided, you know what, fuck it. I see a shrine in the distance. Let's just go get that shrine. And so then I glowed off the Rising Island chain down into the secret hot springs to just do that shrine to end that session. Just to get a little bit of something done before I quit. And then I just warped straight back up to this Rising Island chain. Then we started climbing up the super hard bit right around the Stormwind Arc. Got on the Stormwind Arc. I don't remember too much about this other than there be some choo-choos that were kind of funny to kill and constructs appearing basically out of nowhere. I think there was one bit. Oh yeah, there was one bit. We're way past it now, but there was one bit where you had to attach something to a lever in order to turn the lever in order to open a door, and I did that. But then I decided not to go in that door yet, or I went in and I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do because I didn't know you had to use Tulin's wind power. And so then I left it to go do some of the other puzzles around the ship. And by the time I got back, even though we were still really close to the render distance and shit, by the time I got back, the stick was detached from the lever, and I had to put another stick on and open the door again. And of course, you had to go underneath the ship to get into its bowels. Yeah, and I think there's a captain construct down there too. And they're were there some kind of cannon thing off the edge that shot you as you were trying to get around the edges? I'm just remembering some of the shit about this fight. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'm not sure when the point happens, but I'm guessing it's about now. Yeah, it was right then. And then we fought Colgera. Which I can't remember if I did Colgera hitless or if I only took one hit, but I did really well against Colgera compared to how I usually go against boss fights, which granted, it is a very easy boss. It's a puzzle boss, but even still, I was kind of proud about doing that basically hitless. Went back to Rito Village and hang on, I'm going to rewind a little bit. We went back down to Rito Village and Teba handed over Tulin his bow. Really sweet moment. I think we head back down for some salmon or something. Or exploring the edges a little bit. I thought there was a Korok there, so I checked that out. And then why did we go back here? I think. Oh yeah, okay. Because we had stopped at the Luck of Clover Gazette, we had opened up the Pen quest lines, and I think we had talked to Pen at the Snowfield Stable. We didn't go after Golden Horse yet, but we talked to him, and so I went back here to see what Pen had to say. And then we did the little quest line here where we had to follow the pine cones and save the white goats. And then I went back to this one, and I cannot actually remember what the pen quest was over here. But I think we just got it and didn't do it then. Is this around the point where we got the snowbird question mark? Yeah, that's when we got the quest that hinted you that, like, oh, there's a bird-looking thing with a cave, and then we went and did that. Surprised I actually remember that that's when that was. Yeah, we're just doing little quests around Rito Village. Maybe this is when we got the Golden Horse mission. And then we decided. Then I was like, originally I was going to go up and do this cave, and then halfway through I decided instead to go to the Forgotten Temple, which I think like left that cave unfinished for like a really long time. But then we went down to the Forgotten Temple. I was surprised there was no guardians, only Bokos. And we got to the back and we talked to Impa, and there was like the cool ass map. Well, of course, the shrine first. But then we got to the back and we talked to Impa, and there was the cool ass map. And I thought there was something in the ceiling that maybe you could get to from a different angle, so I put that star down, but there wasn't actually anything there. But we got a picture of it so that we knew what order you were supposed to do the geoglyphs in. Can't remember why I went back to Rito Village. Oh, and then this was me. Okay, and then this was me spotting like a Lionel. I think we were gliding out this way to get to the geoglyph because I thought maybe we could make it. And then I spotted a Lionel, and I was like, I wonder, can I take a Lionel? I couldn't take a Lionel. But at least, you know what? Credit where credit is due. This time I gave it a shot. I put off Lionel's. I say that about a lot of things in this game, especially in the early game. I was just going straight to the mini bosses most of the time instead of avoiding them. I got bravened up by Breath of the Wild. I wasn't as scared of them when I came to Tears of the Kingdom. Of course, exceptions like the Gleeoks, of course. But I was a lot better about killing things. And I figured, you know what? I'll try Lionel. I don't think I could do it, and I didn't do it, but I gave it a shot, and that's what's important. And then I think these exchange rooms is where I found my first like red boss Boko that I actually fought. We had encountered one before, but I actually engaged with this one. Weird that I remember fighting him in this like plains, not this forest. I don't remember fighting him here. I remember fighting him like about here. And every other time I've gone there to farm him for red Boko boss parts, I always killed him here. And so that's interesting that I somehow encountered him like far away from like where I normally do. I'm not entirely sure what caused that. And this was the seal plush mini game, right? Where you scare the girl and all the seals like fall out of her sled. We're going through those houses where there are all the weird like Korok jumpy puzzle mini games in the original game. Oh, and hold on, this is when I first learned that you could get chasms and wells, and we dove down this chasm and we explored a little bit. Yeah, we got that light route. Oh, we did go here then. Okay. So one of the big things that I was never sure of, because I've never really seen anybody address this to like answer it, because it's a bit of like a niche question, but I was never sure for the mini boss rematches, or no, for the dungeon boss rematches in the depths, do you have to clear the dungeon before they spawn in the depths or not? And I assumed they must do, because otherwise it would spoil the game experience a little bit. And this must confirm that, yeah, that probably was the case, because I didn't notice a Muktarok passing through here the first time we were in the area. So yeah, he did not spawn in until we finished the water temple. So that explains why. That also explains why it was a surprise that he was still here. It's like, oh, I could have sworn I explored this area, but I explored it before we killed him. And so, of course, he wasn't there yet. Kind of explored a little bit. And I think this is, I don't know exactly where, but one of these places was like the first time I found like the statues with the pristine weapons. So I put that chest down there to mark of like, oh, that might be something important. Maybe we should come back to it later. Experimented with those zoning devices, trying to make a hot air balloon and a car and shit, and it didn't really work. And I think there was like an EGET one of these. My first like mine that I explored and got like a bunch of zonite in. And I actually went pretty far, just kind of like bouncing from light route to light route in this area. But I kind of chickened out and went back to the light route while chickening out. Can't remember why I did though. But then we headed back to Lookout Landing because I wanted to do the quest in the recommended order. So I went to see what Purah had to say. And I think we also did the well thing maybe. That might have been when the well girl started showing up here. I'm not sure when we actually activated her quest line. I thought we had done like 5 or 10 wells or something. Maybe the deal... Oh, you know what I think the deal was? I think because I hadn't been exploring wells, and I like realized, oh, there's shit in the wells. Maybe I should go back and do the wells that I had forgotten to do. And I think we did that at one of the stables previously in this hero's journey. And this was me checking back in this well, but it was like still covered up with like wood, and you couldn't enter it yet. It's me trying this monster camp again. Now I had a little bit of better gear, and we actually managed to like work our way inside of it. I think it was a blue boss Boko at that time. Whereas like now it's a red one, or a silver one, but it was a blue at that point. And did we go to the depths here? No, we went to the sky. Oh yeah, because we launched out of the Skyview Tower because we unlocked it, and I saw this archipelago and I decided to go check it out. One of the first like side archipelagos that I ended up doing, and so of course it like felt a little bit more fun to me than some of the later ones because they were so repetitive. But just kind of like chaining my way to island and island. Oh, and there was that water puzzle where you had to like drain the lakes. Yeah. Got over here, found the other gumball machine, couldn't figure out how to use it. And there was that rotational like motion control puzzle in order to get like the green crystal over to activate the shrine. Oh, and I didn't kill the flux construct there, huh? I thought I would have, but apparently I didn't. And then I decided to glide down to Mount Hylia just because it was there, and there was like I think it was like a black Lizalfos or something with a bunch of Aracuda guarding it, so that was a bit spooky. Spent a while here trying to figure out what the red arrows meant, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought it was a Korok, and then I couldn't find a Korok, so I assumed it wasn't a Korok. And then we did the like Bargainer statue quest line, and so I assumed they're pointing to like eyes of Bargainer statues, but then no, it was Koroks the entire time, and I just like missed this one totally. Fought like a Yiga up on that little like platform thing. Oh, and then we went down. Oh yeah, I remember like freaking out a bit with like my camera and shit. We spotted the battle Talos that the original Talos was turned into, and I was like, oh, so what a battle Talos. And then we like fought it and really fucking struggled compared to like every other battle Talos. Like I mean, fair enough, it was the first time we fought one, but compared to every other battle Talos fight, really struggled there. I mentioned that shrine where there used to be a monster camp, somehow completely missing the Phantom Ganon. Maybe we hit it there and just ran from it. That was next to Hopper Pond. Split the Force of Spirits a little while. Got the shrine by this chasm, and I think that around here was the point where I started questioning, like, hey, these chasms are in like the same places as the shrines in the original. Does that mean anything? Went up to go to the Temple of Time, talked to the goddess statue, and I think she said like, "Ooh, drain the lake" or something like that. I was like, "Huh, that's weird." I decided to head up for the Shrine of Resurrection, and there we fought that like Yiga and that trap, but we hadn't done the Great Central Mine yet, so the construct did not have a schema stone for us, which was, I guess, it makes sense because you wouldn't be able to use it if you didn't have auto build, but still. Actually, I wonder if you managed to like get the Yiga out, or if you managed to like go to like a Yiga camp and got the Yiga schematic before getting Ultra build, would you actually be able to collect the Yiga schematic? Because for the schema stones, they're all kind of locked behind quest lines, and so you can't get them until you've got Ultra Hand anyway. At least for most of them. Actually, there are a decent amount of mines that are on their own. So I don't know. I don't know if you can get them or not. But we were exploring the old man's hut, and we were attacked by Yiga there. One of the like first like hard Yiga fights that I got into. Oh, and then here's where I actually decided to like check out what the deal was with the chasms. I had been like kind of like pussyfooting around them. I was like, what's under here actually? And then we found the light route first, and we went with the minecart, and then the Great Central Abandoned Mine. And that's where I got auto build, and I briefly considered fighting Koga, and then I was like, no. And I think we activated the Poe statue guy too. At this point, I went in the basement and like talked to him, but I'm not positive, and I couldn't figure out what his deal was because he was also telling me to go up to the surface. And then I saw this light route, and I was just like, I'll go get it. And then we got the light route, and then we worked back up to the shrine. Maybe we were given the Icarus point. Oh no! Here's the point where I busted open the wall, and like if you look at the mini map, you can actually see it actually just changed the map. It goes from being blue to being brown because the water's gone. And so we talked to a little guy, and he's like, "Oh, go to the Temple of Time." And so I went back to the Temple of Time, stopping by that like Sword in the Stone island where there was a Korok now. I thought there was a Korok in both games. In the first game, there was like a rusty broadsword to like trick people that like, oh, you're getting the Master Sword at the start of the game. Nope, it was just a shitty weapon. But I didn't fall for that, which is kind of funny. Then went to the Temple of Time, thinking about, oh man, I did this in the completely wrong order. Headed back down to the Great Central Mine. Talked to the guy, and he's like, oh, go and get my eyes. I had to work back up. Dropped an eye down. Dropped an eye down. Then we had to try and get it back there. I can't remember. I think, yeah, this is the one where I built the car. I think I might have already brought an eye down with a minecart last time I went into the chasm. But here I built like a little car thing, and I had to drive by like a monster camp, I think. At least I think that was this one. That might be the one on the far left, though. Yeah, I had to drove by and climbed like the staircase in the back to get it down to him. Then I went up for this guy, and he was in the middle of the pond. So it's like, okay, that's for. Oh, and then like, oh yeah, and there was the minecart track that just went right over that mine. I forgot about that. There was like a minecart track with like a stop where you could like build like a new minecart, and we used that to get all the way to the central mine. And then I think that is this the last eye or is it the second to last eye that we're going after now? I completely forgot going into the middle of the Forest of Spirits. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, I managed to like cut down a tree, I think, like I did in the first game, and climb up this whole like ledge with the rush rooms. Um, oh, why did I go over there? I think maybe I definitely didn't get the cave or the shrine yet, but I think I was investigating. Oh, there was that place with the chest. I wonder what's there now. And like, there was a cave, but I completely missed it. Headed back down to the last eye or another eye. I think we built a wing or something to glide over. Yeah, we built a wing for that one. Yeah, and then we finished the Poe guy, and so I was gonna continue on the regional phenomena. I think. Oh no no oh no 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 no! I remember what this was. Yeah, this is me discovering the cave and like the secret like royal guard tunnel that led to like the demon statue, and then you had this like long like gauntlet, which like on the one hand it's kind of a cool and fun thing, like sneaking through the underground and collecting like bits of armor, um, but also it doesn't really function as a backdoor into Hyrule Castle in the grand scheme of things because like you can't open it from the other side, you know. You gotta work your way through the whole thing, and then it's like you're locked in once you actually get. Oh, I think did we actually kill the Stalnox there or not? I'm not sure. But yeah, you get here, and then it's like, oh, you can't open the inside, and so like I gave up. I was fighting like a monster on a staircase for a while there. I think that was me killing the Stalnox there. I think that's when I actually engaged with them, or maybe I'm mining because I think no, there's the Stalnox. Yeah, that's where the Stalnox was. But yeah, you can't open them from the inside, which is a little bit annoying. Oh, and this is me checking out Mabel Village for some reason. I can't remember why. I think I got a hint. I'm definitely on my horse now. I think I was like checking out if there was still treasure there because there's treasure in the original. But yeah, set out on Bloob. Did this cave randomly. I failed to get the shrine, or maybe the shrine was under the cave. I think the shrine was on the surface though. Worked down the Forest of Time, just kind of exploring some early game areas. Proxim Bridge. Yeah, was this the point where I was like planning on going to Kakariko? I'm not sure if I did or not. Because I don't really remember passing through here this early in the game, but I guess I did. Oh, and I definitely did not activate this shrine here. I don't even know why I investigated it. Because this shrine I got like way, way later in the game. I think, unless if I'm thinking of this one. I might be thinking of this one. But I think that this shrine I got way later. Maybe I did get it there now. Try crossing the river, I think, for a cave or a shrine there at some point. That's that one Korok that I couldn't figure out how to do for a while. I was a bit like stupid with it. Oh, and then like here was me like investigating where it's like, oh, I saw like the troops. Is like, huh, where's their camp? And I went back and their camp was back here, and I got the hint of their camp before going to like join in the fight, which I didn't do just then. Completely missed me doing because we did do not you. You were the one for the quest. You, yeah. This was like our first like monster camp with the monster control crew, helping them out. And then I headed up for Kakariko. Took a little detour there where we originally got Hetsu's maracas. Talked to those like tourists. Talking to everybody. Paya was like the chief now, and I think we got our diary under the bed there. I found the shrine that early on. I wasn't sure if I did or not. Okay, and then this was me doing the first like ring ruin, and there was like the old codgers were outside debating over shields and swords, and I had to kill the monsters. Couldn't figure out the zone of device thing still. Just kind of started jumping around, going to ring ruin to ring ruin. Saw like the guy talking to the chasm up there. It was rain. I remember it was like raining when we were up here, and we had to like wait for the rain because it started just as we were about to climb this hill to get something on top of it. The guy yelled at me for trying to get to the floating ring ruin supposedly, and so I had to take a little longer route to get up to these guys. I think we helped the guy sleeping in the bed now, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and then I decided to like head back on my horse in order to actually help the monster control crew at Fortitino. Oh, and then there was that old guy's hut. Oh, no. This is where there was that one Korok, and there was like the monster camp across the lake, I think. And so I was like, clear out the monster camp to get the Korok across, yeah. Just passing down the normal path to Tino. I don't know why I was exploring over there first. And we started talking to everyone around town. We got like the hints that like, oh, they're working on a new vegetable. There's frogs in the wells. We got like all of these different wells that are all interconnected to each other. Was there a shrine down in those wells? No, that's the one that's on the cliff. Never mind. Oh, and here's me doing the cheese quest line to get the bottle for the lady wanting cheese. I got the shrine in the cave that I wasn't supposed to do yet. Got to the like lab, but Robbie still wasn't there because they hadn't done that quest. Checking out my old house to see what's there, and we went in the well and we got the tip that like we got the hairband and then we got the tip that the champion's leathers were in the castle. Somebody just warped out of there. That didn't really save much time. Or I guess they hadn't done the shrine yet. That's probably it. I probably activated it and then didn't do it yet. Maybe that's what I did. Yeah, because or maybe not. Warp back to talk to Robbie, maybe. And I was trying to get into Hyrule Castle from, or did I? I did go on the surface. Can't entirely remember what my train of thought process was here originally, but there was that battle talus we killed. I think I went back for my horse there. Oh, and there was that Korok that wanted to cross the river, and so we crossed the river, and then we saw this battle talus that was up here the entire time. And did we fight it? I can't remember if we fought it now or not. That might have just been us fighting it, because at this point we already had Talos Heart weapons, so we could actually take them on easier. Oh, and then here is where we met Kilton and Colton. I didn't remember encountering them that early on, but I guess we must have. And Colton was like lost in the cave.
Yeah. Could I give a little bit of cash, please? Right now? I'm here right now.
I can't remember if we did the Stable Trotters quest line here or not, because I think we did have our harness with Blue, and so we could have. And so yeah, we did. And I remember like we were going up the hill so fast, but then like a cutscene kind of triggered in, and so like their cart kind of like flew in front of me. It glitched out a bit with the momentum, and it looked very doofy and silly. At least I think that was here. I'm pretty sure it was there. That was where the little girl had like there was the quest in the original game where it was like, Jesus Christ, what's going on up there? There was a quest in there was the quest in the original game where you had to tie like a balloon to a barrel as a reference to Skyward Sword. And just like when I first saw the Sky Islands in this game's like trailer, I was like, oh, well, that's the only quest I'm ever going to be able to think about for the entire rest of the game. Can't remember why I went back to Kakariko. Sure, I had a reason. Oh, I think that was us doing the Cuckoo quest for the eggs in the cave. I think that's what that one was. Were we continuing the mayoral election thing here? Maybe. Oh, that was us bringing something. That was us interacting with the school. I don't think we had the monster curry yet, but we went there. This is me climbing up here to actually get the shrine so we could get to the Dueling Peak stable. I remember that being a bit tricky and difficult. Help. Oh, I think I remember what at least like I think I remember at least what like a bit of that was. I was going to give the honey to the guy where we met Hetsu originally. And then we could activate this Great Fairy too. Yeah, that's what happened there. So then we continued our way up into Eldon and Akala. Got the Skyview Tower. Ooh. Were we in the sky? Yeah, we were in the sky. Yeah, because there's an archipelago right here. Oh, and I tried gliding like a decent way. And I did get a decent way, yeah, because I was going for that shrine. Died in that shrine. Was this our first? This might have been our first like naked shrine. Oh, and here was the all clucking cuckoo. We went in the well trying to figure out how to save that one, and then we were sitting on like all the quests from like the Yiga to wear us out. But we beat them. Stuck by that moblin. That moblin, like very shortly after I went here, I think it was just like a red or a blue moblin. And then by the next time we had come back to this location, it had like leveled up to silver already. So that was kind of funny. We went and fought this flux construct above Terrytown. One of the first like proper flux constructs we fought that was like out in the wilderness. And then here was me going to the Kala Citadel and encountering the Gloom Hands for the first time. I don't know if I encountered them quite there because I'm pretty sure I like flew in, and then they spooked me, and then like I rushed onto like a cliff and like a ledge of like the building, and then I just stayed there until they despawned. But then that gave me enough time to explore the rest of the Citadel. And we actually went inside. I'm pretty sure at least we went inside the like bottom floor. The top floor was like the last cave we were missing a bullfrog in, though. Maybe even the last cave entirely. I headed over here to investigate like the like peak where there used to be a great ferry. And ended up getting the shrine outside Terrytown. Did we go to Terrytown yet? Oh, we died in that shrine. Huh? I forgot about that. I've had it marked as a chest forever because we never looted it. Yeah, it must have been another one of the taking away your gear shrines because look how long I'm taking in it. Oh. Yeah, eventually we beat it and we glowed down to check out Terrytown. And nobody like recognized us anymore. Pellison and the bird didn't recognize us. And then Ross and Hudson did. And did the quest to like make the daughter happy. We had to pay the guy the exorbitant fee to use the rail and get down to the construction yard. Still couldn't figure out the gumball machines. How did I get back up to the village so fast? That couldn't be the rail. Check out the racing course and some of like the supplies they had and using them like build shit to I think there was a Korok maybe that needed to be taken around somewhere. But I remember for a fact that like I wanted to like hit the sea and go get the shrine. And like and this is where I discovered like the trick that I've used like a lot in the game, where it's like, oh, disassemble, like use 2 planks to build your raft, sail out a little bit, tear your raft in half, jump on one half, reposition the first half, jump on the first half, and then reattach the second half, and now you've like turned the raft even if you don't have like a steering stick. And I used that trick to get over to the shrine, even though I think there were steering sticks there that I could have used. I was just kind of lazy. I went to check out the pond for the Great Fairy, and there was nothing there. I think I found the caves at this point, the little underground bits. Did like the first bit of like the race mini game thing here. It was just like the testing, like the lights though. I don't think he had a time limit at that point. And that was me. I think that was me going to Colton's shop for the first time because I saw him over there and it's like, oh, I'll use the Skyview tower to get to him fast. But like because of how long the Skyview cutscene is and how much long like you spend diving, it's faster to just run on foot. And then I glowed straight to the one on the middle of the Spiral Peninsula. I forgot that I did that. It was much easier to do in this game because you didn't have to carry a crystal the whole way across. But also, I think that was like a part of the fun of the original. I was doing something in Terrytown. I don't know if we've done the whole Hudson, Ralston, and Madison quest. I don't know if we've done the whole thing yet. Oh yeah, we must have. Yeah, we must have because there was me putting down the first couple buildings of the house and starting to build the house. Yeah. Oh yeah, because we were just gliding over in the sky. Yeah, there was nothing we really did there. Found this stable where they kept talking about the horse god. Worked our way up the hill to the little shrine here. And then I actually doubled back. I don't remember. I must have seen the Yiga warnings then. Doubled back to check out the Spring of Power. And this is where I first learned, we need claws this time. And also there was these Bokos on horseback here that kept like bugging me. Although it was also kind of fun to fight them because they had like it wasn't just a Boko on horseback. It was like a Boko on horseback and then another Boko in like a cart the horse was carrying. And I was like, oh, that's a cool like culmination of mechanics. Headed back up because I went the completely wrong way and found the horse god spring, activated Melania. Got him before all the great fairies this time. And then this is me. I can't remember if the shrine was underground or not. I'm pretty sure the shrine was on the surface, but I went to do this shrine. that I just like completely passed over. My stamp's still there. Oh, and then here's the bit. This might be my favorite bit of the whole playthrough. I still think of this all the time and laugh at it. Or it's just like, yeah, I want to go to the depths real quick. And then I encountered my first Franks, and it nearly fucking killed me. And I had to like rush to the shrine to like escape. And I was like, I'm terrified. I'm bailing. We're going back to the main quest line. Finally started working our way up Elden. We did. I don't remember if it was now or later. I nearly set my horse on fire and nearly killed Bloop here. Not doing the shrine, but going into this like cave. Or did I not do it now? I remember doing the Marble Rockos thing, but I guess I just didn't start it just then. Yeah, I worked our way up into the Goron City. Everybody was like drunk on the power of the marbled rock roast, and they were all lazing about. Yeah, and that's the point. I was like, yeah, maybe I should do this quest in case like it disables it. And so then went to the cave, and I got the marbled rock roast and brought it back because I wasn't sure if that would be possible to do or not if I did the whole quest line. Took the minecart straight to Yunobo Co. There was the little mini boss fight with Yunobo, which I had like completely forgotten about until I was like watching other people's like playthroughs. It's like, oh yeah, you did have to fight Yunobo at one point. That was kind of funky. Oh, and there was I think there was both a boss bokoblin and an armored bokoblin in this area, and I can't remember which one it was, but one of them like caught my eye. I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, and then here we found like the guy that was like stuck in the back of the cave. I don't know if we helped him or not yet. I'm not sure if you can before you get the Mama Rock Roast. Man, that cave goes deeper than I thought it did. Huh. But then we drove the mine cart up the mountain, taking things in the way. And I think that the shrine, was this the shrine that taught you like the tutorial of like hydrants? I think it might have been. I'm not positive. But then you got on the plane and you had to fly around and you had to kill the 3 heads of Moragia, which, look how fast that went. It wasn't like that hard of a boss fight. And it's so heavily based on its environmental details. But I still think it would have been cool if they somehow made a rematch with them in the depths somehow. Like, Sludge-like is 100% possible. They could have had more encounters with Sludge-like throughout the game. Moragia, I get why they didn't have any more encounters with them, but still, I would have appreciated it. But then we got to the Fire Temple. Built a little like cart to try and like cross the lava or get up the hills. And yeah, we went up this hill with it. Finding, I think there was like some Franks and Arcudas and shit along the way. Got here and we saw like all the Horriblins, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm wussing out. I'm not fighting those. And tried to like sneak past them, and eventually we got to the actual Fire Temple. And this... Oh. I was doing some warping for something. I think I was buying arrows, probably. Or I know I went to get a free heal at the hut. Yeah, that's what I did. I went to get a free heal because I was low on hearts. But yeah, Fire Temple, I cheesed a little bit in some places, but I did not cheese as bad as like other people had done it. I did mostly use the minecart to actually get around. I do know there's that one bit where there was like a gong in midair, and I built like a ramp to get Yunobo all the way up there. But like I even brought it up at the time. I thought it was theoretically possible to just build a partial ramp and let like momentum carry him all the way to like the goal. But also you can just build like a flying machine and just fly up in front of there. And since Yunobo like attaches himself to your vehicle, you can just launch him off the vehicle, and that's like way easier to do the Fire Temple. But yeah, I do feel a little bit silly not trying that, but I hadn't built any flying machines yet. And here's the fight with Marbled Goma. Interesting that there's like lava on top of the arena too. I actually think like, because for Muktarok and Queen Gibdo, not having low gravity makes Muktarok harder, so the depths fight is harder. And not having sunlight pouring through the ceiling makes Queen Gibdo and her minions harder. And so Queen Gibdo is hard in the depths. But I actually feel like the depths version of Goma is, well, I guess this is technically a depths version, but you know what I mean. The depths version of Goma is actually easier than the original Goma boss fight because he doesn't like crawl on the ceiling anymore. And I feel like that's kind of what like made the fight so interesting, was like the phase 2 being stuck on the ceiling and hard to reach. Going back, I think I was going back and checking on everyone now that they had healed up to see how they feel, and that the marbled rock roast was gone. And we got like the other rock roast quest here, and we did that one like right away. This is definitely the point where I accidentally burned my horse. Oh yeah, and there was like, I think Picanjo. I think that this might have been the first place I met Picanjo in this game, where he was like hinting you at the Star Islands. I think? Question mark? I don't know. Oh, and we think we did the. Did we do it? Yeah, we did the next stage of like the race mini game. I think we might have modified our house a little bit here. I'm not sure what all we added, but I think we changed some stuff around. Oh, can't remember why I went there. I think I must have been getting I think I was getting a picture of like a basic goblin. That was probably it for like the Colton display or the Kilton display. Early on, I kept calling Colton Kilton by accident, and now it's gotten to the point where actual Kilton I've started calling Colton. This might have been me going back and actually doing the Merrill questline thing. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit more of the village going all around. I was definitely checking out the wells and the caves underground, definitely at this point. Oh, and this was doing the pirate mission out at sea that I completely forgot about until we read the adventure log last night. Yeah. I wonder if there's any other pirate ships along the coast, because I didn't like super well explore the coast, but like I bet that there were some more pirate ships out there that you could have like optionally fought. This was me going up and actually doing the ancient Tech lab. I can't remember if it was at this point, but I remember there was like two moblins like right here-ish, where like I kept encountering them doing like the exact same aggro animation, even though they had not actually noticed me, and they were like perfectly in sync for some reason. But yeah, we fought the Yiga at the ancient Tech lab, but I forgot to get like the tip stone, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember if I activated that shrine or not. I think this is me fighting the little Yiga out front too. Yeah, and this is me actually doing that shrine. Going back to the Spring of Power again, just to check out the core a bit. I don't really know what I was doing there necessarily. And this was me deciding to like continue in the depths a little bit. I think, because I wanted to follow the statues actually. And I followed the statues, and they just ultimately just led me back to the Great Central Mine, and I already been there. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's tied to like the Koga quest line somehow. But I still talked to them, and like, yeah, that was enough to get Robbie to go to his lab, and then I went there, and we had already done so much in the game at this point that we already managed to finish like 2 of the quest lines. I went back to the ancient lab, and oh yeah, they must have still been dead then, because I didn't see any fight like indicators there, and it was so short. So yeah, I think they were still dead. Lucky enough. And I also checked out the Guardian pile, see if it was still there, and I don't think it was still there. But yeah, here we got our travel medallions. Oh, and this was me first trying to go in the Lost Woods, and I couldn't figure out why it kept like blocking me, but it was. Can't remember what I was doing there. Oh, I think I was getting a torch. I was trying to get a torch to like see if that would help me get through, and it couldn't. Actually, interesting that it doesn't even like show like a hero's journey, because I definitely went into the woods, but I imagine that's a part of like a balancing mechanic to help prevent you from using the mini map. Because like I think they also changed it so you can't place pins in here anymore. I think question mark. So I wouldn't be surprised if they changed like how it worked exactly to make it a little bit harder to do. Oh, this is me actually going after this memory and trying to find it, and I think I did end up finding it. And then I was checking the room because we hadn't taken our picture yet of what the next location was, and so I was checking the room to see if we had the next one. Um, and then this was me using the sky tower to glide over and then pop down and get this memory, because that was the next memory on the list. Then I headed to Kakariko to go activate the Skyview Tower. I can't remember if we fought the Battle Towers or not. We did do the cave mission, though, because I think you had to do that to activate the Skyview Tower. Oh, wait, where am I? I think I was, yeah, I glowed over the river. I just glowed over the river to get down here in order to explore a bit and get this one. I didn't realize that was all the way over here. I guess it makes sense it was, but I didn't really like clock that. Just passed straight over the lake. I forgot doing that to get to this shrine. And I think this is the point where I like found like the starving musicians and I fixed them food, and then I got to the stable and Penn was like, "Oh, yo, some musicians went missing. We should go save them. Or you already saved them. Thanks for saving them." And I was like, "Oh shit, I missed a quest." And so then I reloaded a save, ran past them and ignored them, then activated Penn, and then went back and saved them. I think is what I did here to try and like get all the dialogue, which really I probably should have done for the message in the bottle mission too, but I didn't. And was this also the one? I don't think this was the one, but that might have been the one where there was the cuckoo pen too. Maybe. I think that was turning in some kind of picture to Kilton. I'm not sure though. Oh, that was me trying to find the Lionel. I think this might have been my mute stream actually. I'm not sure, but this is me trying to find that Lionel to fight it again, and we actually killed it that time. And so I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, we got a Lionel. I guess I didn't do the shrine. I must have missed it entirely. Because we've been to the Sky Island before. Jesus, that one took me a long time. Oh, I'm paused. That would be why. Oh, and then we glowed over to get this Star Island. I can't remember if I was aiming for the sky, because at this point I knew I had to go to Lunaria. I can't remember if I was aiming for this one or not. I think I was, yeah. And then I used it to launch up to get to the spherical one and get inside of it. Oh, and then I noticed this stable and go down. Oh, this was like the nudist stable where they're on their undies. And I somehow completely missed the twins out by the cave. But yeah, and then you had to go in here and you had to like beat all the monsters using only things in the cave. And of course I died. I think I died twice. Did I not? I thought I did. I think I must have reloaded a save or something, because I definitely died more than once in that cave. And this was that old like sort of like hot spring where you had to bring the Quark around the shallow portions in the original game. Can't remember why I was exploring it this time, but I did kind of like look back through it for the sake of memory. Oh, and then I went back to the Great Sky Island. Can't actually remember why I went back up here. Why did I go back up here? I think this is the point where I started like going to sell things at the forge, and and this was me getting. Was this the floating one? I think this is the one that's like slightly. Yeah, this is the one that's like technically on a floating island, even though it's considered a part of the surface map. But yeah, this is the point where I started like making like occasional trips to the Great Sky Island to try and buy crystallized charges. And then I just glowed down from that one over to this guy, this like stable. And this stable had the whole like quest line of actually no. First off, I did the quest line. Yeah, this was the funny bit where it was the guy that had to raft down the river, and I made a joke as I was rafting down the river of like, what if he auto resets you like Flower Blight does, completely ignoring that we were heading towards the floor at Sandbar, and then we got it, and Flower Blight was there, and it was just like, oh, that's funny. That's a little bit of a hilarious coinky dink. Yeah, and then we had to kill the Moblin by the well. I think I killed the whole camp, but you only had to kill the Moblin. Then, and I think this is the first time I found a Yiga with a training dummy down a well. There's actually like 3 or 4 of them, but that's the first one I found. And I think I was like reading back through my notes. Apparently, there was a bit here where like I saw like a Korok that we had to carry somewhere, and like a star fragment where we had to bring the Korok. And so then I brought the Korok there, but by the time I got there, the star fragment was gone. Oops, that one. Then I started working my way up through Zoro's domain. Yeah, because we already had the warp closer, but I wanted to like, because like in the first game, there's the cutscene here at a no-go bridge for Sidon. And so I wanted to follow the path more or less, just to see if there was like anything special about it. And there's like less Lizzles than the previous time. It wasn't as hard to go down this path as it was in the original game. But the path had also been like blocked off in places. And as you can see, like I ended up like gliding over here and missing Orin Bridge. And that was like the last location I needed for map completion. There's a boss bokoblin on this bridge instead of a moblin, like the previous game. I think there was an Addison sign or something there that I helped out. And then we got to Zoro's domain. The shrine was down below instead of like in the actual domain this time. Oh, and I think that might have been me helping the I was either going after arrows, or that might have been me stopping to help the guy that had muck in his gills. But yeah, we started talking to everyone in Zoro's domain, and it's like, oh, we had to like clean the statue off, but we'll do that later once I've talked to everybody. And then after I talked to them all, they sent me up to go up to Polemius Mountain to talk to Sidon. I took a bit of a funky path up too. This definitely was not like the most efficient path, and there were a few points where I was just like running like past enemies, like absolutely sprinting it, trying to make it up. But eventually we got to Mipha's court. We said hi to our fishy boyfriend, and then we climbed back up to the Shatterback Point, and it's like, oh, there's a pretty fountain here. That's where the Mipha statue went. And used that to like glide down to Toto Lake where the quest line continued. We had to fix the mural. Then I don't know if we had to talk to Yona or not, but I think we had to like, yeah, okay, I remember now, yeah, because there was like again, I would have forgotten this bit if I hadn't watched other people play through the game. There's that bit where you had to like spy on the kids, and they were talking about like a game about like the king and his like a secret hideout, and it turned out like, oh, there actually is a secret cave behind the waterfall that King Dorfan went into, and so you went there and you talked to him and you got his scales. And then you used his scales to try and get up to the Flowing Scales Island. And there's like a certain point where if you shot through with your bow, it would activate like a well. Something. Did we talk to Yona? Question mark. And then I think. Okay, no. So we already killed the sludge like by this point. I'm not sure when exactly we did that. That must have been like. I'm assuming that this was us killing the like, or the sludge like. Yeah, and this was just going down to the Reservoir Lake and going into like the whirlpool and going through like the whole underwater like Gutty Works region, which is very cool, very classic Zelda dungeon vibes. Those places, as you slowly like filled it with water. I don't think I ever got that trest behind like the dripping plants in the end. But eventually we reactivated the waterfall and we used that to climb up to Wellspring Island. And I really like the floating bubbles and like the low gravity and sneaking past all those like soldier contracts there to get their loot. I remember doing that. Got the shrine, and I think we killed the flux construct while we were here too. I can't remember for certain, but I'm pretty sure we did. We kept slowly working our way up the chain. Oh yeah, and there was the bit where you had to use like the chest plate to like and like the waterfalls to get to like each of these like little islands. Kept slowly working our way up with like the bubble puzzles. No, eventually you met back up with Sidon, killed the captive construct, and then headed up to the actual water temple. Oh yeah, and I took a break as we got to the water temple to buy more charges and arrows. And I think that was probably more arrows. And then I was ready to take on the water temple. And I actually struggled a lot with the water temple because like there were some orbs that I was just like missing, and I was trying to take them to the wrong like input spot. I think that's the first one that I was struggling with for forever there. And also, I did not realize that you could like ultra hand things onto the bubbles, or that the bubbles were strong enough to carry heavy metal objects. So there was that one where you had to put the orb in a bubble and would carry it to like the next location that I just could not do for the longest time. But eventually I figured it out. And then we killed Muktarok. Loved him. The Splatoon 3 looking boss. And then we went back down for Sidon and Yoda's I almost said Sidon and Yana's wedding. And I went to check back in with the king to see if anything changed, and I found like the upper exit out of his cave by like accident, which was that was kind of fun. Bought more charges. That's probably arrows or something. Yeah, I think I was buying like arrows. Or no. I was checking in with the stable heads to see what they said about me saving Akala. Or I was checking in because like the stables always commented on the region phenomena, and I was telling everyone, oh hey, the Gorons are fine now, the Zora are fine now, and seeing what they had to say about it. I was looking at the picture of Octorok Lake during the day because it's like, oh yeah, that's close to the stable. I can do that picture quest right now. That wasn't a problem. Modifying my house a bit, and we're sleeping in it. Okay, and was this in the sky? Yeah, I think this is the sky. This was me going up to get like the piece of Zora armor that was like in like the skyfish, and then going and getting the one that was down underwater beneath the reservoir. And there was like the luminous Talos fight like down below where you could actually get in the story mode. Oh, and this was me doing the monster camp, yeah, because there was the monster control crew guy that wanted you to take out this monster camp, which is weird that like this is like still like a monster camp you have to like clear out, but it's like disconnected from the sort of actual like quest line of clearing out the monster camps. Where there's the sick monster camps you have to like kill for the guy in the emergency shelter. Kind of wild that I think there's even like there's only like one or two like monsters like fortresses that have no quest line related to them, and then there's 6 that are part of the same quest line, and there's that like one that's its own quest line. I guess the pirate ships also kind of counts quest lines though. Fair enough. Oh yeah, and this was me exploring Wellspring Island a little bit, trying to find the wife that was wafted away, but I could not find her, and I gave up pretty quickly. But I did find the Star Island over here. Went to Rails Pond. I think that was because that shrine is in a cave, so that was me going through a cave. Oh, and this was me heading down to like the place where there was the like Hinox or the Talos and Hinox. Or no. There was a Lionel down here. I can't remember if it was a Talos or a Hinox that was up here. I'm assuming a Talos because it was Talos Plateau, but by memory I have a Hinox. There were 2 boss fights here in the original game, but neither of them were here this time. But you went down in this cave, and there was that like honestly kind of annoying mini game where you had to sail the raft past the spikes to get the human and the Zora, or the Highland and the Zora together, and you could activate the shrine. And then I went and scaled this cliff for this shrine and completely missed the cave that was down there in the wind puzzle thing. I even stopped there for a while, like, oh, hey, there was a cast puzzle here in the original game. I wonder if there's something cool here, and there was something cool there, and I just ignored it entirely. He's in the bathroom.
Okay, is everything all right in there?
Yeah.
Flushing a lot.
I was about to say I can't remember why I went to the military training camp, but that was talking to the Great Fairy. And this was me finally going to investigate this cave, which I did way too early because there's a quest line that takes you to this cave later on anyway. Or maybe I was just going after the Great Fairy to check her out. We didn't save the person yet, so we couldn't do anything. That was me checking out the star to see if there was actually anything above, and there wasn't. And then going to the Typhlo ruins, yeah, and it was kind of cool exploring them in the light now, and there was lots of like harder like tier constructs in it. And the guy who had like the series of like monoliths, and I was like, oh, there's 4 monoliths here. There's like 3 monoliths here, and they all sound like they relate to our sage powers. I bet that like you're supposed to come here when you have all the sages, and so I put off doing those quests for the moment. I can't remember why I went to the Ancient Tech Lab there. But yeah, I wanted to investigate Mount Drena and see what was up with it. And I think, wasn't this the place where, I can't remember if this is exactly when it happened, but sometime around here, there was like the Korok that was like, that needed to reach his friend down the hill, and there was like the freaking like cart thing to roll down the hill, and I tried putting him on the cart, and the cart just went completely away from me. I don't think that was exactly when that happened. Mekar Island. See, the thing is, I do remember encountering a Gloomhand here, and the map said that there was a Gloomhand here. So I don't know why there wasn't here when we came back. But a little bit easier to get to the island in this game because either the nasty winds weren't there or Tulin was enough to like surpass it. I think here's where the Korok was that I tried to like cart down the hill, and he got completely away from me. But we got him eventually. I think that was me checking in on what the correct. Oh, and then here's the bit where I was looking forever to try and find the last Yiga hideout because I wanted to do them all before we did the Gerudo region, just in case you had to go to the Yiga hideout in Gerudo. And ultimately ended up like caving and looking it up. But by the time I looked it up, I was like right next to it anyway. But yeah, that's definitely the best hidden of the Yiga caves because it's like the only Yiga cave that's not where a location was in the original game, mainly. But still, I think I was testing if anyone cared if I was a Yiga Kakariko, but I'm not sure. Doing more of the school quests. That might have been when we unlocked the farm, but I'm not positive. This is just buying shit at the Great Sky Island. What was this about? This might have been us finding this cave. Oh, no. Yeah, this is killing the battle house that was like next to there because we had put it off for so long. I was like, yeah, I'll kill it. I think we might have already killed it too, but that was me like guaranteeing that I killed it. Yeah, now you're starting to see like the path of me going to buy arrows every time, like how that like panned out. Okay, I think this was me like going back to that Franx and killing it. And my first like Franx kill, getting revenge on the one that spooked me. I think we also got the picture of him there. Yeah, we got the picture of him there turning to Kilton. This was me saving the trumpeter that was lost in like the pit. That actually took a surprising amount of time. I bet there was probably a better way to build the vehicle to save him, but that's what I did. And that allowed us to join him up, grab the carriage, sneak past the Gleeok, and activate the Great Fairy. I don't know if that Gleeok is close enough to actually attack you when you got the music troupe. It feels like it should be, but I don't think it is. And this was starting the path. Oh, there was another well here. This one might have had a Yiga in it, but I don't think it was this one. I think it's one that's further to the south, the southwest. But I don't know if we did or not. But that might have been the one that had a Yiga in it. And then we were heading down to Gerudo, but I stopped because I saw this cave in the Great Plateau, and I had to see what it was about. And this is when we got the shrine that was here. Yeah, because this one is underground. And then we continued our... We did an Addison sign, and then we continued on our path. Got another shrine outside a stable. And this stable... There was like the Gerudo women that wanted to see the Master Sword for one thing. There was the last stable trotter. And then down here, there was what looked like a woman in distress, but it was actually a Yiga in disguise. And she sent you on another wild goose chase of trying to like tie her and tuck her out. And it's like, I kind of called she was a Yiga from like the start, but when like the end of the mission was the Great Plateau and I was like overtaken by Yiga, I was like, oh yeah, definitely, that's a Yiga. Got the mini horse stable on the bridge, which I really, I'm going to be honest, I don't understand this. I really do not understand this. There's like only 2 mini stables in the game. So for that being a new mechanic in and of its own right is already weird. The mini horse stable in Lookout Landing, I can understand though. That makes sense because like it's in the center of the entire map. It's good to start like your quests from there. But here, there's already a horse stable right here. And the mini horse stable is here. I mean, the only ways you can really go from this mini horse stable is you can go south like a couple of meters and hit the Gerudo Canyon Pass, but you can't take your horse past, or you can go up where you pass by this stable anyway. So what's the point of this stable? It feels so pointless. But yeah, and there was... we honestly kind of rushed past these 2 Zonai Servitine camps, and I kind of regret it because we didn't like really get to like sink into their dialogue, but there wasn't much there anyway. That was my first gumball machine I activated. Over here, there was the runes you could ascend inside, and the little Gerudo woman that had like the quest line to like figure out if you could handle the desert. I did kind of rush through the desert though. Went up the cliffs instead of to the chasms. Found the Satori. I think this is when I discovered what the Satori trees do. I'm pretty sure this was my first Satori tree that I activated. But yeah, I activated that. Then we headed up here, and I think we did. No, we just glowed down to this shrine, yeah. And then there was the abandoned stable up here, or not abandoned, but like the shutting down stable, and it was just full of boxes. I mean, like managed to get like over 100 arrows just by smashing boxes against the floor, and I was very satisfied with that. And they need to go underground in the well, and there are all the Lizalfos that you had to kill in the well. And this is where I got a picture of like most of my elemental Lizalfos pictures I got from down there. But then there was actually a sand seal like cellar right here at like the entrance to the desert, which made getting to the Karakar Bazaar way quicker. Which now there's a warp at both the Karakar Bazaar and Gerudo Town, so that's not like as important, but still. Talk to everyone around the bazaar. Oh, maybe I did go back to Pura to get the dialogue for Go to Gerudo next. Maybe I did. I'm not sure. Because I didn't think that I did. I thought I forgot to do that. We explored the little underground cave thing and well thing that linked back up to the Karakara Bazaar. And we did that way too early because eventually there was a quest line where you had to go down there. And I assumed that he wasn't down there because it didn't look like it was in the location that the game was pointing me. But no, that was where I was supposed to go. Desert Rift. Yeah, since the Shantrab was here, I just glided over through everything. And I freaked out a bit when I saw like the big like drop here. But then I kept going. And then we hit Gerudo Town. And it was like, oh shit, there's Redeads. But it's not Redead, it's the Gibdos. Still spooky, just not as spooky. Then we started exploring the surface world of Gerudo Town, just seeing if like anybody was left in their shops. And there was one in the secret club, but we had to go underground to get to that one. I just kind of like investigated to see like, oh yeah, is anything special on the surface before I like tackle any of the underground. I'm not sure, because I definitely saw the hole in the staircase, but I don't know if I like really thought about the rest of the underground there or not. But eventually we did work our way down to like this sort of emergency Gerudo shelter kind of thing, and started talking to them. And eventually we got in the cave system that led up to like those old like lost ruins that eventually opened up into the North Gerudo ruins, and we met Riju again. Which like it is kind of wild. Like for how empty the Gerudo Desert feels. You got like underground ruins here. You got on-surface ruins here. You've got underground ruins here. We got a whole temple down here that was buried underground. And like, I'm pretty sure over where you get, I don't know, that was this place. But I feel like there might have been, yeah. And there's more underground ruins down there in the cave. And so they actually have like a lot of buildings and structures in the desert. It's just they've all become buried. But yeah, and then you had to go to the Karakar Bazaar, and you had to kill like the mushroom thing to stop the Gibdo with Riju's power. And then you had the like, I say tower defense, like town defense mission of protecting the whole town, and blowing up the 3 ones like are on either end. If I remember, I'm pretty sure I put all the soldiers out here. I had the cannon shooting here, and then I handled here myself. I think with traps or something. But I think I went to the first one anyway. And this might not even be me doing the actual like killing mission yet. I might still be talking to everyone in town. And then you had to go out to like activate like the mirrors. And I got the first mirror, and I got it like pointing, and I headed in the direction that it was pointing. But like, I guess I just forgot. I just didn't do the right thing. I can't remember what it was I was missing, but I was missing what I was supposed to do, and so I couldn't figure out how to turn this mirror. I thought it was further away, and then I thought maybe it was at the shrine, and then I couldn't find it, and then I just kind of like, eventually I gave up and just headed down here instead and tried to cross the quicksands to get to like, the one that was up here by this shrine past the Arbiter's Ground, only to realize, oh no, I can't activate that one, and I get the mirror to like pointing to it, and then went to like the center and it wasn't there, and then went back there again, it wasn't there, and then I went back to this place that I'd been so long ago, and it's like, oh, no, even then I still didn't realize that I could activate, or maybe I did, and then I finally activated it, and then I finally activated this one, and then you could talk to Riju, and we could go to the center one, and then activated the pyramid, which is actually like, it felt like a massive distance between the towers. And like the pyramid was pretty far away from where we activated it. But looking at it on the mini map, it's actually like very, very close. It is kind of cool how like pretty, like not perfect, but how close of a triangle symbol ends up being created when you activate it too. Then there's the first fight with Queen Gibdo. Then we entered the Lightning Temple, and I think you might even see. I'm pretty sure it's that. You see the point where I hit the flame wall, where like I discovered this point where you could ascend. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to ascend there. I'm going to go the actual path. And then I hit this like wall of fire. And then Riju said, oh, we can't go that way. And so I was like, oh, okay, if you say so, I'll go through the ascension point. And then went through the ascension point, and I ended up skipping like an entire third of the dungeon by mistake. It was just very easy to like completely sequence break it. And actually, we never really went back to the Lightning Temple, because there is like little bits of treasure and shit on the surface, on like the roof of it, if you climb up it, that I just never bothered investigating, which I probably should have gone back for at some point, and I just didn't. But yeah, and then this was me like after clearing almost the entire temple, going back in and going to do that basement route that I missed. And then we went up and we fought Queen Gibdo, and she was a pretty hard fight. Granted, she was my fourth dungeon boss that I took on, and the fourth one is always, well, I guess in this game the fifth one is always like the hardest. But still, and then we talked to everyone in Gerudo Town to like say our goodbyes, and say thank you. I think this was me maybe checking in for the orb there. Then I didn't end up doing the quest or something, and then going back for more arrows. Can't remember why I went there. But yeah, and this was me talking to Pura, and she talking about going to Hyrule Castle, and I was like, well, I don't want to finish the game yet, so I'm not going to do that. And that was like a bad decision because, like, it wasn't actually finishing the game going to Hyrule Castle. Then I was supposed to go to Hyrule Castle. Then okay, now here's exploring the Typhlo ruins and doing the 4 like sage quest lines for the different dragons. I cannot for the life of me remember the reward that you got from each of them. I think it was a large zone I charged, but I can't remember. I know that when you beat all of them, you got a sword. You got one of the amiibo sword. Oh, and then took a break to go do that cave and activate that shrine. That was actually a pretty spooky cave because it was actually like dark and there were heriblins everywhere. And I think at this point I had like advanced the game to the point where there were silver heriblins, so it was actually a challenge. But yeah, and then I tried gliding up here and doing these sky islands, like using like the Skyview Tower in Typhlo ruins. Fought the Flux Construct, but I think I missed a Korok somewhere around here, and I was trying to figure out if I could use this. Oh wait, no, hold on. I think my initial thought of going up here was trying to dive down into the Korok Forest, but then I saw the Sky Island. I went to do it instead, and then it fell down underground, and I ended up below. And I explored a little bit, but then chickened out eventually. Or did I? No, okay, no. This is the point. I couldn't remember if this came now or later. This is the point where I decided to try and get to the Korok Forest from underground. I think that I had actually like found the tip by now. That like, oh, use Ascension, go up from underground. So I started exploring underground. Somehow completely missed that light route. I have no idea how. Oh, no. I did give up. Yeah, I did give up that early on. But then I headed over to this island's chain. I don't know if I managed to get up on my own or not. I don't think I did. But we did the whole ring dive quest line thing, and we got our first piece of the glide suit, which that was pretty cool. And then I tried to dive up in the Korok Forest, and it would not let me. And so I was like, okay, so that's not what I'm supposed to do. Wait, where am I? Oh, yeah. Here I used the Gerudo Cane and Skyview Tower to go get this dragon tier. So this was one of the few ones that I was still missing. And I restocked on arrows. Then I went to check the temple to see what was all left. And then I think I missed a treasure in that cave. I think that was about. I missed the bullfrog, and I went back for it. Bought more treasures, and I might have. This might have been me. Yeah, I think this was me doing this quest where you had to activate the gumball machine. Now that I know how to do them, I went back and I did it for the guy. We checked in with the Lucky Clover set and finally got this shrine that I had somehow completely missed the entire time. Oh, and then we used this Skyview Tower to glide over to this island because I had spotted it in the distance. I was like, oh, that's another glide challenge thing. And we did that one considerably faster, but we forgot. See, like you can even see it. We forgot to activate the shrine. I do remember us having to go back for this later when we were getting like the Sky Islands like finished up. But then we go down. We used that to glide down here in order to get this memory. Did we fight? Was there a mini boss or something here that we fought, or was it? I think it was an Addison sign. Yeah. Because I know there was an Addison sign here, but I thought it was closer to the shrine. But then we got the shrine anyway. Then I went over this way and decided to do this shrine while we were in the area, just to get it out of the way. I think I actually built a vehicle to help with that, because it was kind of like flat land. It wasn't that long. Oh. We definitely used our horse here. And then we ditched it to get over here. And we used it to activate this Skyview Tower. And started exploring, like, yeah, there's an interconnected, like, series of, like, wells and caves here. We got that Star Island. And then we tried landing on the... Okay, and I'm pretty sure we did a save reload, which is why it probably looks like nothing happened here. But we did try to fight the Flame Gleeok, and I could not figure it out. And so instead I ditched it to go do that cave. That eventually sent me to this Sky Island to get the crystal to drop down into the cave underneath the whirlpool. Went back to the Temple of Time. I can't remember why. I think I was getting the picture of the Great Goddess statue because because I had like figured out that was a quest. Then I tried just flying over here to like start exploring Farron, worked our way down. We talked to the girl here that was mentioning the pirate ship that the monster control crew was going to go attack. Went down here. There's the flute piper. I don't know if we talked to him or not though. I struggled with that Korok a while, trying to figure out a way to get it up without using any devices, and I couldn't figure it out. Ran straight past this Talos here. I think we managed to somehow get the Koroks next to it, though. We're activating